Hello, and welcome to Thomas Was Alone. This game is very interesting on the prospect of its storytelling. Everything seems to be fine. Yes, you would be hard-pressed to believe on how much personality you can give to the characters in the game, which you will soon see. But, I don't think there's much I forgot to start the timer. You'll soon see what I mean. I ended up playing this game all the way through, and I can't believe I could associate characters to the ones that have been designed to them. But, I digress. Let's start up a new game. The program was a failure. People forgot this. It was a massive flop. The coder started adding names starting its last as a joke. Thomas AT23612 wasn't special. It was just an AI.
Thomas was alone. Wow. A weird first thought to have.
Okay, so these are your... this is you. You are Thomas, a square. Yes. This is you. And the whole entire premise of the game is for you to move to your appropriate spot. And the whole entire thing that makes these characters so likable is the guy who's telling them.
Thomas decided to start listing his observations for posterity.
This guy...
1. The whole alone thing. 2. Portals. They led somewhere. He'd yet to work out where. 3. Falling. Thomas was absolutely fantastic at falling. He was almost as good at falling as he was at observing.
The way this guy... Hold on one second. Oh, the music still seems to be very loud. Yeah, that's the absolute quietest it can be. Ah, well, it shouldn't be too bad. This guy makes you care about these little squares.
Okay, interesting. Thomas couldn't fall past this block. Think, damn it, think. What if there was some kind of inverted fall? Some way to... what's the word? Jump.
An inverted fall.
It worked! Thomas had solved the great inverted fall mystery.
Now, recently there was a game that came out that I really want to get, but it's not in my budget to get right now. That's called The Stanley Parable, and the storytelling in this reminds me of that. And The Stanley Parable also was a Gary's mod, I should say.
A big jump. But Thomas noted there was no real danger in missing it. The world didn't want him to fail here. It was pushing him, but gently.
The world didn't want him to fail. It was just pushing him. Okay, how am I supposed to get up there? Oh, almost. There we go.
This all seemed a little dangerous. The world was not to be trusted. It was unstable, and it seemed to Thomas that it could let him down at any moment. He was starting to suspect it might even be doing so on purpose. Paranoia.
What do we got here?
Thomas wondered whether the portals were actually taking him anywhere. He felt like he was making progress, but there wasn't really any way to know. He seemed to be moving predominantly up and to the right, which might, or might not, be important.
Now, here's a little detail that I think is very important for you to observe. You see the shadow effects? That's really good. Is it simplistic? Yes. Is it
Might
bad?
have been
No.
paranoia again, but Thomas could have sworn the world was becoming more complicated. It always seemed to be one step ahead of his skills.
Oh,
It had been designed just for him. He wondered why. Was the world testing him? No. Too obvious.
there we go. And this is just the beginning. You're going to see new characters.
Something about the boiling, toxic, glowing water intimidated Thomas. He didn't like it. He certainly didn't want to swim in it.
Alright, so...
He made another mental note. 4. Water. Not good. To be avoided.
Alright, so this is apparently our respawn. Here we go.
The loneliness was getting to Thomas. No amount of observation or obsessive note-taking could combat that.
Oh! I'm sorry. I'm just like totally tripping out on that. Oh, on the story and the storytelling and how much personality is being given to a fucking square. It makes you want to care about this little square and what he's going through. That's really good in storytelling. If you get the person to
Thomas
care
had
about...
a new theory. The world was training him. He could feel himself getting smarter. There was the mental list to consider. Over the minutes and seconds since his spontaneous generation, he'd become a pretty skilled jumper. He was evolving. He just wished he had someone to share it with.
He wished he had someone to share with. That's all he wanted. And if we take anything from in the beginning that we saw, he's an AI. So he's supposed to be an artificial intelligence. There we are. What do we got here? I submitted hundreds of bug reports. I told the idiot this would happen. Overlapping scripts, more than one AI was bound to be spawned into the environment at some point. Turns out I missed the point. The little arrow changed everything. Everything.
Chris took an immediate and deep dislike to the skinny red rectangle. Who the hell did this Thomas think he was?
Okay, so now we have Chris. Chris cannot jump as high as Thomas. But Chris needs Thomas. Now, Thomas can't jump with Chris on him. There we go. Here we are. Here's Thomas. There's Chris.
Chris had been doing fine. He wasn't the highest jumper, but he'd held his own. He'd even been graceful at times.
Up.
Well, not technically graceful. It's probably the wrong word, but you know, fine. There was that skinny little runt leaping about like he owned the place.
Seems like Chris is the jealous type. There we go. We'll get Chris over this little jump. Down you get, Chris. The little brown square. That little shit. Now Thomas gets back into his little home. There.
Okay, this was more like it. A glowy white thing. Only Chris could get to it, which of course made it all the more enticing.
Nah, it's just
What
for
would it
Chris.
do? What new opportunity might this switch open up to him? Great, great. Another chance for Thomas to jump slightly higher than Chris. How fortunate. Seriously, this made the whole switch pressing thing entirely worthwhile.
There you go, Chris. There you go. There we go. It introduced to us means of switch
Was this
pressing.
good? Because on the surface, it did not seem good. Chris was pretty scared. Little Red seemed fine, happy to be on his merry little adventure.
He's glad that he's near you.
Chris couldn't shake the feeling that things had taken a significant turn for the worse since Thomas had joined him. Sure, he'd been able to piggyback his way to ever so slightly higher platforms, but where had that got him? Well, ever so slightly higher platforms, which was sort of his point.
There we go. Remember what I said about grunting? Oh. Can I make this? There we go. Chris and Thomas.
Chris stared at Thomas with pure hatred. He seemed so very happy at their situation. Friends together, a brave fellowship of quadrilaterals on a quest for greatness. That would be fine. But it was all the obvious observation that Thomas was doing which grated. Every time they saw something vaguely new, Chris would hear a satisfied little from the vaulting idiot. He hoped the next portal would split them up, if only for a few levels.
What do we got over here? Oh, somehow Thomas has to get over here. I'm guessing Thomas needs to go up here. There we are. Ooh. There we go. Checkpoint. Oh. Come on. Yeah. Oh, God, I timed that perfectly. There we go. And, hey, Chris. Who's this?
John knew. He knew that this was his chance. A moment to shine. This was game day.
Oh. So, I got an idea. Oh. Do I? Can you get up there, Chris? Oh, no. Okay, so why don't you go up first? Thomas, you go up next. Chris, you get on him. And then, there we go.
This would not do. John needed room to show off his exceptional skills. As it was, he was trapped on the wrong side of these little dot things.
So, John
Where
does...
did they come from, anyway?
John seems to be, like... wants to be important. He thinks highly of himself because he's, well, tall. See, this is what I'm talking about. You're getting personalities being given to shapes and colors.
John inhaled the air of the open space, and it smelled of awesome.
Whoa. John can jump
Time to flex those
high and
muscles,
far.
to put his training to use. Time to show those little dots how it was done.
Hey, you did a good job,
John
John.
decided to press the switch to let the little dots catch up with him. John cared for his new allies.
Oh, you're very generous,
You
John.
could tell from the sympathetic expression practiced in the mirror all these years.
Now, if you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you could see like the little bar, and if you press the left and right bumpers, it takes you to the closest one according to it. So right bumper takes me there, left bumper takes me there, left bumper takes me there. So now we're at John. Let's get John up here. What's down here? Okay. Let's get everyone up there. Oh. You might need some help there, Chris. There. You get on up there. And then... Oh, Thomas. There we go. There you go, Chris. There we go. You get down there, Chris. Thomas. There we go. Ooh. Hop on down. Oh, man. Looking at the time, we ended up hitting the 15-minute mark. So, in the next episode, we will continue getting these guys through these trials. Alright, see you then. Bye!